We're going live. Hiya! Friday night. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for Transformers the
You know, I like my ice extra cold. Ooh, ice.
I live my life walking down the street, meet the faces of the people I see. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. It's okay to feel alone. It's okay to be alone. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. 'Cause when I'm with you, it seems so easy. Seems so easy. My best days are with you. They are so easy. They are so easy.
Hey, hello, good evening, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight on tonight's show. What's happening tonight? Well, we've got foreplay. We're going to have a look at Arcee. So Arcee is going to be our choice robot for tonight, and everyone's going to be looking at Jamie to see if you do nicey with her boobies. There's also
Alexis got he's part of the form. He's in the fan club.
Has he?
No?
I love that. It's not just me. He's
The
a
booby
pervert.
boys. There's also we've got Rohan's Corner, Fanstoys Innuendo, loads more. But first of all, it's time for the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
News. We'll start off with the most important news, which is TF UK Con, which is going to be going ahead on May the 14th. Is that right, Paul?
That's it.
You'll
That's
see
it.
in a
Is that right?
second. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
news.
That's right.
Yes. A few Adams is apparently
news.
confirmed rather to be going. So Thew will be there, along with some other illustrious guests. Which not so fast. Which includes via video call, I believe, Bobby Skullface, not Brian Bonebonce. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him. Ben Davison of Ben's Collectibles will be there, and Simon Furman as well at TF UK Con. But most importantly, us,
Us.
the
Us.
real
We're the
life
news.
us.
We've
We
made
are the
our own
news.
news. It's like Inception, but
I
with
put us
news
first.
and older men.
Yeah, so we are new. So we will be there as well, and we may be or may not be doing something at the show. Who knows? These are all things that may or may not happen in the future. who can foresee what may happen? Anyway,
Oh,
then we got into
Domino,
toy news.
Go
Actual
back,
toy
go back,
news.
go back, go back a second. What was that at the
I don't wanna
bottom?
go back. Why am I going back a second? Why am I going? No,
So-
I'm not going back a second because whatever it is
Is it
now,
at the very
I
bottom?
fear.
At the very bottom. There was
I
that
don't-
at the
I'm not
bottom.
going back.
All
No,
right.
I
Oh, it'll
refuse.
definitely be. It'll be so worth it. Go on, go back. This is going to be brilliant.
Oh God!
Right.
So let's see what that Domino's.
This is
pizza
about
deal
Domino's
was.
Pizza.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
Jesus
it deal
Christ.
was? If I found her.
Anyway,
I didn't
so
read
moving on,
it.
Super 7, with the ultimate figures, the non-transforming kind, have revealed, I think it was Wave 3. Is it Wave 3 or Wave 4? It's one of them anyway. And it will include Tarn. So if you haven't got a Tarn and you want a Tarn for your shelf, comes with Nickel, the little robot that they decided to write into it in Lost Light. I didn't really like Nickel. But anyway, it's there. And you get some hands and a little... Is that a rocket pack for Nickel? And then you get alternate face and the actual head and the cannons. So they're looking
There we go.
nice.
Well, just
G2
like
Megatron?
Paul's favorite band, that's Nickel back.
Oh, I fucking hate Nickelback.
They are Nickel's
Tell
back.
us how you really feel, though, Paul. Don't hold back.
I'm on the
I mean,
fence.
I can tell you're a big fan.
If we could arrange
Is it
for
because
our
they're
entrance music,
Canadian?
It
I
probably is. He
might,
hates
I might, I might
everyone.
change our entrance music to Nickelback next week on the show. That's for the 100 special.
That'd be great if you were here for it. You're not, are you?
I'm not. That's the whole point.
Oh. Anyway,
Dreams do come
Um,
true.
G2 Megatron.
And next week is going to be a 100th show, and we're going to have loads of guests. So thank you to the guests who are joining up.
Yes,
But
thank
Jamie
you,
and
guests.
Alexis just aren't here
Yeah.
They've both started a plan.
It's all right. You've got the
I'm
good
washing
ones,
my
that's
hair.
fine.
I'm washing my hair that day.
Jamie's got guests round. So
Jamie and
people
I
around his
have
house.
our
dear.
annual massage and dinner date.
This is from that weird episode of the G1 cartoon, isn't it, where they turned Optimus Prime's body into an alligator for reasons, and you can get the bits. There's the head, and they put his arm on the top of a.
I don't think
Decepticon
I've
fortress.
ever seen that episode.
different.
You know what? I'm going to tell you honestly, it's not good. It's not good.
That one's different.
It's not good.
I
The
don't know
one
if I
bottom-
blanked it out because I've watched all the episodes again with you guys mostly. I don't know.
Yeah, we
The one-
did. We did.
The one with the tower and the arm is City of Steel, where Prime's
it?
arm gets taken by Megatron and devastates the top of the tower. And Prime has to climb top of the tower, like
Just his arm,
devastates
is
like
it?
King Kong.
I can't. I
Just his
mean,
arm.
I can remember
So
the
Prime-
scene, but I can't
So
remember
Prime
the episode.
climbs the tower with one arm to battle Devastator, who's guarding his arm
Brilliant.
to get his arm back to then shoot Devastator and shoot the tower down.
Right.
Cultural appropriation.
Well, somebody's obviously asking for that.
I'd sure like to fist him.
That's exactly
Another
what it's
red
like.
guard
That's
with
exactly
a
what it's like.
G1 toy accurate head for those who desperately want it, as opposed to the kind of animation accurate head. And it comes with this rifle. I wonder if this would be worth buying to go with a Studio Series red guard for those who want the gun that didn't come with it. Might be a thought. Anyway, so there you go, and he comes with loads of other accessories. And there's a shot of.
It'd be a hell of an
all of them
expensive
together.
gun.
Well, yeah, some people will pay it though. Probably still cheaper than third party. Anyway, and then this that was leaked by someone who's clearly a big Transformers fan and takes great care with the figures they borrow from the factory. And this apparently is a possibly Kingdom, but certainly Beast Wars style Buzzsaw. So
Is that windscreen Buzzsaw we're seeing?
It looks like it,
windscreen
yeah.
variant.
yeah, he's not looking too fresh, is he? Then we had the leak first of the packaging for Black Zarek, which it is, I'm sure on all the listings I saw it was select, but then somebody did point out that it's got Legacy on it. So there you go. That's Action Robo, isn't it? Yeah. Blaster has been picked up. It's out and available in some places in the US. So I think one of the first people to get it. Took some
He's a bit
photos. Some
chunky.
comparisons and
It looks like a new mold or somehow an upscale.
Yeah,
mold.
I thought that it looks, even though I think it is basically the same mold. I think they've made the legs a bit longer. He just looks a bit.
Well, I just
taller
wonder
and
if the chest cavity is deeper to deal with the new cassette. 'cause
Possibly.
You've got eject, and I wonder if that means we're going to have new molds of Rumble and Fancy.
Yeah, and the really important question that we all want answered, which is what's going on with Hot Rod?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's Rodimus, isn't it? That's the new,
What
that's
the
the
heck?
alternative face sculpt that Hasbro are releasing now.
Yeah, lovely. I love it.
Everyone's
Especially the
disappointed
Fez.
with Rodimus's. Everyone's disappointed with Rodimus's face sculpt. That's what you get now.
And there it is in its box. And there's a little group shot with Prime. So yeah,
Go back one. Sorry, go back. Sorry, go back one. If you look
Say
back at the one with the
please.
box,
say please.
The one with the box, right? You see the box, and you see Rodimus's face is normal, so he's taken time to cover up Rodimus's face with the fez, and they go, "Oh, this will
Well,
be
why?
really cool."
Why? It's fine there, and then yeah.
And then
What's that about? Anyway, there you go. So there's Blaster. So, woohoo! And there he's in his alt mode with
And eject, isn't
eject. Yeah.
it? See, I think it's so when eject transforms, it can fit in there. I think that's why it's a new mold
Maybe,
slightly.
maybe.
Does look bigger.
deeper. Yeah.
He's always
You
been
know.
wider, hasn't he? Though, like even the
Well, he is locked down Blaster, really, when you think about it.
masterpiece version. That you look at the two different types they've got here as well. It's the
Is
same.
this just so we can see your
As he
collection
picked up,
again?
Masterpiece Blaster, I'm moving on. Anyway,
yeah,
then we
this is
have
what-
Brawn. We had
that's
Studio
him.
Series Brawn from the Bumblebee movie, and
Bigger.
Prime versus Prime got hold of that and did a review and put up some photos, or at least some photos came out of
It's
it.
just like Snow
Which,
White and the Seven Dwarfs, isn't it? He's like Optimus is fucking huge and got these wee midgets all
God.
around him.
That face is terrifying.
I like him.
What is that?
Does he
Oh,
not
God.
remind you of the guards from the Fifth Element? Did we say that last week?
Yeah.
I don't think that came up, did it, last week? But yeah,
The guards
I get
from the
what you
Fifth Element film
mean. Yeah.
looks very similar.
Oh,
Do you,
I'll try
do
and
you
find a
think?
picture.
Do you think that the guy who did Rodimus Prime's face got such a good praise? I mean, you know what? You did such a good job. You can do it. So you can do Brawn. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, you get Brawn next.
maybe.
Wow.
Anyway, there's
Who's
the
he gonna-
vehicle modes together with Wheeljack and Cybertron in mode Bumblebee. Back of the figures, pretty clean.
Yeah, but see, don't you think it's like? I mean, I know they're probably all sort of like heavy remolds of Bumblebee, and that's why they're quite small. But I would have just have thought Wheeljack would. I mean, I know they made Ratchet bigger. You know,
Is
so
he bigger? He looks small. If you look when we get the first, we get
yeah,
the
but
first
he's
one.
bigger compared to Bumblebee and Wheeljack and Braun there.
Hmm.
We don't need to
I
put the
think was
pictures
that,
back.
are we talking about the robot mode? Rather
Yes.
Than, no, I
Yeah.
can't remember if there was one.
The robot mode doesn't look like the guard from Fifth Element. Sorry.
It does actually. It does actually.
Massive
It does.
lies.
It does. That could be his auntie.
Anyway, then we had the Kingdom Core class hot rod, which got oh, he's carrying a sword.
You're still doing that voice, aren't you, from earlier?
Oh. Anyway, there he is, and it got leaked with a really blurry picture that we did share previously. But these are the official ones. I think did they come from Kapow or someone? I can't remember. But anyway, there you go. So you can have a good look at the figure and see whether you think you want to pick it up. But he does come with a sword.
People are saying they'll go with that Optimus Prime, the one I didn't like. What do you call it? The one with the homage to the original. Is it Star Convoy?
Oh, yeah.
Power of the Prime Star Convoy. But Power of the Prime mold Star Convoy, I should say. Yeah.
And there he is. So Autobot Hot Rod. Then we have the group shot. This was the shot I was looking for when you mentioned about the height. So you've got Bumblebee there. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen. You can't see me pointing. But there's Wheeljack, who is a little taller. Ratchet size above again. So I'm guessing he's Voyager.
But he's smaller than Chug Ratchet.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, they're both Chug Ratchets, technically.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah,
God, he's quite a bit smaller, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
not
really
sure about
good.
the face sculpt either, but then again, I suppose it is the movie one.
But they still look quite cool. They're set to themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's different styles. Then we had somebody whose names escape me who shared the photos of the Select Legacy Black Zarak with Scorponok, with the Earthrise Scorponok. So there you go. Looking nice, don't get me wrong. And for those people who've always lusted after and wanted a Black Zarak, which of course is such a rare G1 figure to be able to get, you know, I totally get why people are excited about this, but I just prefer the Scorponok. I prefer the colours.
Yeah.
They are completely different characters, aren't they?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. They're two different things, aren't they? I mean, if you're a big fan of the Japanese iteration of Transformers, and then Scorponok was in it as well, but Black Zarak, it just has that mythic element to it, doesn't it? I remember seeing, Toy Fu had a Black Zarak that they sold, I think, to Tony Thrussell?
Yeah, sounds very best.
But before they'd done that, they had it in the bar at TF Nation that year, and I was talking to someone, and we both spotted it. I can't remember who it was I was talking to. We both legged it over just so we could look at it. It's like, oh my god, it's actually a Black Zarak that's not crumbled to bits. Fantastic.
How big was he in the How big was he in the Victory or whatever it was he was in, like in the Japanese continuity? How big was he was he combiner size or?
Well, of course, scale is all in the eye of the beholder, Alexis. I mean, it's really about how you feel.
Bit like love.
He was bigger than your microwave, Alexis. I remember that.
Oh dear, I don't know. I can't remember now because I haven't watched the Japanese continuity in years. I did many years back when I first got the DVDs, but I find it hard sitting through the dub and then reading. When you're reading the subtitles, don't get me wrong, I prefer reading the subtitles, but you do miss some of the stuff that's happening action on the screen a little bit.
Are they his goggles?
Reading the subtitles.
I like both, to be
looks
honest,
like
subtitles and reading.
Like
It does look
mask,
good,
is it?
and I like the photos they've taken. Taking it out to this little bit of brush, and it just works.
They're off on a woodland retreat. It's nice that they can go off and bond.
Age 15 plus.
Cool.
For that plastic-free packaging as well, which I think we've mentioned before. That
None of
Hasbro
our
are
viewers
heading
should
that
have
way.
any trouble getting this.
Yeah. Prime versus Prime might be in trouble though. Anyway, moving on. There we go. Some more photos of him, and then this was this round table thing which tformers.com have reported on and shared a load of photos and screenshots.
I mean,
stuff
that
like
is a sexy alt mode, and I'm not saying that just because it's RC. That is good.
This is the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Arcee, so it's going to be. I like the alt mode because I think the alt mode's different, and I like the fact that when they've shown this, they've shown some of the design sketches and paintings and things as well with it, which hopefully we'll be able to see. But it might jump around a bit because I was explaining to the lads beforehand.
Look like the
photos
Akira
didn't
bike.
download in order.
Does look like
Everything looks like an Akira bike though. When you
Nah,
make a
if that went red, it had something on the front of those tires. It's pretty close. Paul, why don't you get a picture?
It looked more like a Batman bike, to be
backpack.
honest.
Picture of what?
What are we talking about?
Picture of the Akira bike and the Batman bike.
There you go.
There's lots of Batman bikes. How many? Which one?
Oh well,
The Batman.
you should have been
You
more
know, the
specific when
one.
you made your throwaway comment, Jamie Liddell.
Oh, you do.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, there's Arcee. Looks
That's
all
good.
right, I think. Wheeljack's concept art,
Yeah.
which
He
obviously
looks
they're
sexy as
starting
well.
to-
No, go back. Look at that. Look at that middle one. Why was it like that? Why the
What?
hell wasn't it like his all look, bottom left?
Because they
Why the
chose
hell
to
was
make
it-
it with wheels. Because that's
Concept
easier.
arc.
Stupid.
Why is that
Designers.
stupid? That's like almost from the G1 cartoon.
Ratchet, who we've
Exactly,
already
like
seen.
this.
Ratchet should not have a rifle that badass. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's
Ratchet.
cool, but it just
Oh, come on.
Family,
Just
you've
almost a
already
movie.
seen.
He's got 2 handguns shooting away or double blast.
they're like little pistols, and it's not like he does anything
It's the
good with
cutest
them.
thing ever until you got.
He dies,
What?
baby. He dies.
Spoiler.
I know you blocked it out.
It's like Huffer comes with the most badass gun, doesn't it? It's just a little
Yeah.
mini pot, but Kingdom Huffer's gun's amazing.
The best gun ever.
Ratchet's ultimate mode.
It's like it comes together and makes beauty. That's what I like about the gun. You know, it splits apart and then comes together. It's just awesome.
Concept art there for Ratchet. I just thought this was quite
Ratchet.
interesting.
I
Yes,
said
Ratchet.
It's word for it. Rat.
Ratchet. Yeah, I just got abusive. Shockwave, who we've already seen, of course. Ratchet's gun can go on his back.
Can we
Quite cool
pause
for
for a second?
storage. No.
Why?
Why? Why
Well,
do we need
well,
to pause,
Well,
Alexis?
talk about
Alexis,
what-
let the news
what I'm-
flow. Just
what
once.
what
People
we do
can
through-
see it. It's
through-
okay.
through
We know
the
you
Can
night.
can-
somebody
is-
mute him? Just for 5 minutes. Seriously.
Consider it done.
The power. Anyway, there's Braun.
You're barred from news, Alexis, until next week.
The concept art. Is that supposed to be a vehicle like a car?
That's what they said, didn't they, in the
Is
live
it?
stream? Which we weren't invited
Oh.
to, and I was
No.
offended.
I mean, I'm not, but I am now.
I was. The angry
was
tweets
there.
I could have sent
Braun.
because I'm a coward.
Braun looks a little bit slicker there as a vehicle than what we actually got, but you know. And anyway, I just thought it was quite interesting to see everything. There's the box. We love the box, or Ravage,
With
as
the
we're
dick
calling it.
gun.
I do love that box.
And then, of course, they also talked a little bit about some of the upcoming kind of Kingdom Legacy
I do
releases.
prefer
So we've
Puffer
got
when he
Pipes.
holds his guns, actually, and that's Pipes there.
And then
Are you
Slammer
Paul?
in tower mode.
Is that you, Andy?
That's smart.
Yes, I actually went. Yeah,
do look like that.
I wish that was me. Mark lives a sweet life.
So another image of Mark to add to the Mark portfolio on Facebook.
Yeah,
It
Well,
should
we've
be
already
out.
added
there.
it. We've already added it in Twitter, so you're a bit slow tonight, Paul.
Oh, bloody hell.
There's
Sorry.
that hot
Touch of
rod.
Mark
There's
is
Slammer
good.
again. All the photos out of order because why not Messenger?
We're all
Why not?
marked the cons here.
But yeah, all looking quite nice and exciting. And we have already seen that, so it's coming twice there. And there's they also talked about what's he called again, Jamie? Black
Cheetor.
Panther, Black what is
It was Ravage.
Is that
Was that
Ravage?
not- I
Hard
thought that
Panther.
was Ravage again. I didn't realise that was a
I
new
thought it was
different character.
whatever they
Jaguar.
call it.
Covert Ravage. You know, I didn't
Oh,
realise.
it might be.
I mean, they
It might
could-
well be there.
You could be doing this. The mutagen Tiger, isn't there? Is there a mutagen
Oh, right.
Black Panther coming in? I don't know because we weren't invited to the stream.
No, we invited. There's the prototype of the of Slammer in his tower mode and how it'll interact
Oh.
with Metroplex. Should you wish?
The toy they
All
released
those-
12 years ago.
Yeah, so if you missed out, that's a pity.
I smell either a re-release or a new one.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think it will also match the Cybertronian Metroplex somehow. I think there'll be a similar mold, or at least there'll be a similar fitting. So you should be okay. And it wouldn't
Back to
surprise
Hot
me if Cybertronian Metroplex will have a reissue Metroplex with them.
There's a nice one for you, Paul, to add to portfolio.
That is, I'm just screenshotting that right now. There we go. In the
So
back.
on
And,
Twitter, just
yeah.
say that.
Cool.
Hang on, before we get to that, that's how you can utilize Slammer with pipes.
It does
was
look actually
armed to
quite
the
good.
teeth.
Yeah.
And
Pipes look
then,
sweaty.
important news. Go on, Jamie.
Well, we just figured, considering Snarl is included as part of the little miniature Autobots, that then is a very good chance he'll definitely be part of the Studio Series 86. You know, considering they've included him in that. So I'm very hopeful Snarl will be there, because there was some doubt because Snarl wasn't fully in Transformers the movie. They might not include him, but they've included him in this, so there's hope. And they haven't got Sludge, which is a bit funny. So
He's very
that means
big.
that means there's going to be more of these little things coming out, I would think, especially
Maybe,
if they
yeah.
chose Snarl over Sludge. But this
Might
is
get a
the
whole
logic.
cast.
They
of
could be
these
just
in
mind
one
fucking
minute.
with us and deciding, you know what, we are going to give you Snarl, but we're not going to give you Sludge. Ha!
So, Jamie, are you going to paint these yourself? Because they're
Definitely
obviously
not.
not their colour. That would be quite a job. I bet there's somebody out there watching who can do it, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, there'll definitely be people doing it.
And then just not long before we came on, there was this the pre-orders for Studio Series Sideswipe from Revenge of the Fallen, I think it is. They've gone live on Hasbro Pulse. So if you are into your movie bots, your Studio
I'm
Series
into my
movie
side
bots,
swipes,
Is that a
you do like your
vehicle?
Sideswipe.
but
I
it
don't
does
know.
look. I don't think it
It's
is.
the-
It looks different to the ones
Yeah.
I've got from. And
It
I've
says
got,
Revenge
I've
of
got
the
about
Fallen
4.
on it. So did he have a slightly different car design in Revenge of the Fallen? Oh,
But
no,
it
that
look-
was his
he's
first
got a bit
film,
of a
wasn't it?
backpack. His whole back looks like a big backpack, and the other ones
Yeah.
aren't really
Yeah,
like
you're
that. They
right.
fold up quite small.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, there you go. And that was all the mainline news that's worth sharing that we had.
Cool, brilliant.
And
It was
then-
great news, Andy.
Third party.
It was grand.
Grand. It was
Grand news.
And
Third party.
Third party, which is quite short this week. I even went hunting for more third party news, thinking, oh, there's not that much there.
You reckless fellow, you.
I know. The things I
But
do with the
Park-
5 minutes
Park
of time I get a
Andy,
day.
you're not a third party expert. Surely someone else should have been looking for third party news.
You would have thought so. Somebody who might actually share the photos and explain to everybody else what they are. But hey, what can I do?
Put the link up, the description. I had the description next to this, and you haven't shared it.
Yeah.
'Cause I did.
I didn't
You
need to
actually
share
did.
it, Alexis, because you're here. I can't share the link.
So this is legend size, isn't it? Is it Zeta Legends?
Sweet.
No,
Jesus.
it's not Zeta. It's a Legend.
Isn't it
size.
Zeta's company they own?
No, it's a fourth party knockoff of the MMC Bruticus for Legend scale. So it's meant to be like 10 inches tall, and it's done by a company by the name of.
It says where it is, right in the middle by its
Fire
crotch.
in the hole.
Well, it's 21 centimeters tall. It's by XYZ, and then there's 4 Chinese words that I can't read. Brutus consignment on Weibo is 20. This is all we know. 21 centimeters tall, based on Assaultus, which is the
when
MMC
are you
one.
going to learn Chinese, Alexis, and show you put some effort into the show?
Just slacking
When
off.
when I master my kung fu.
Right, what's next?
Random response.
This
Oh,
is
this looks cool.
It's in third party. This is Diaclone, which is Takara.
What?
Ain't third
Yeah, but the
party.
Diaclone
Yeah,
things that they
Andy.
release aren't Takara, are they?
Yeah, so it's Takara.
Is it? Because it doesn't have any Takara labeling or livery on it. Is Diaclone
Oh,
done
okay.
by Takara anymore? Diaclone was originally done by Takara, but this is now not
I think it is.
1982.
Well, I don't know how it works, but the shop it shall not be named has Diaclone next to their Transformers.
That's
And
mind-wise.
Off the shall not be named.
Again,
Hold
it's
it, hold it.
I'll let you do this one, Andy. It's written on the screen there.
It says Gamma. I don't know what this is. You shared it. You tell us what it is. I think it's trash.
It's a Diaclone.
No offense.
It's a Diaclone bot made by Takara.
It's
There
not
we
a transformer. Let's move on. Anyway, there you go.
go. MMC hotspots looks pretty juicy there in his base mode. That's a fucking base mode. Repair bay actually. And his robot mode there looks pretty clean from the back as well.
Still just a robot doing the splits. You keep
Yep.
saying things like that's a base mode, but it's still a robot doing the splits every time.
At least it's made
No,
it
he looks alright.
No, you've got no
At
comeback.
least.
At least.
At least.
It looks all
Right,
right.
We'll have to have
I
a
think it looks
discussion
quite
about
good.
base. I think we build up to discussion on base mode.
We'll do a base mode episode.
That's kick 2022, lads.
You're breaking up, Alexis. It's okay.
Oh, that's a
probably.
shame. that's a real shame. Moving on.
Here
There's his ultimate mode and his,
here he is in here with his stilettos for his combined mode. So
Cool.
again, MMC's gimmick is that all of the features, so the head, chest plate, crotch piece, the feet, everything are part of the actual main figures. They can transform in and out of all three modes. And Hotspot has a fourth secret mode, a repair bay mode, which looks really cool, better than any Takara shit. But the difference is here, normally the feet would actually come out of the leg bots like they did in Bruscus. Here, they're part of Hotspot, which is quite interesting. So
Cool.
probably part of his repair bay mode, which is awesome.
And then this is for official mainline, but it's a third party company. So I chucked it in because we had so little third party news. So
DNA Designs upgrade kit.
yeah.
They get
Nice.
so new feet, new legs at the bottom, so it makes them a bit
Isn't
taller.
this an extra? Isn't this just this
Yeah, that's
extra
the bit.
section to give it more height?
I think it
And then
looks
they've got
real.
fillers for the screw holes and things.
Yep.
The cannon, obviously. Well, you'll see in a
Yep.
second because we've got a.
I think it was
Does
Joe
look good
Strong.
there.
He's got this kit. and he's used it.
Although, why?
Base sculpts.
Why
Base
do they
sculpts,
always
right?
put a derpy face? in
Yeah,
this one?
derpy derps.
What is that
I
face
thought
supposed to represent?
Where's my
You're the one who's
Cheerios?
Oh, I do like these two. You know, they look all right,
Mm.
especially the little sneering face.
I think
Good.
Jamie's
That
getting this.
one.
Jamie's getting this one.
I'm not. I'm a purist.
Oh dear. I mean, I have to admit, it does look good.
There, it looks good. Height. He does look a
Yeah.
bit
See, this is what-
stubby. Kingdom Galvatron.
This is what happens when Galvatron uses the Matrix correctly. No, Galvatron Prime.
Let's move on. There you go. Oh, do you get a little extra bit as well for the alternate mode? A bit extra for the back there. Is that something? Okay. Oh, and then this
Dreamwave
is
Designs kit
that's
for
the one.
Poseidon, King Poseidon.
which we have mentioned before. I think we looked at the
God
one
Poseidon.
for. Oh, his name's gone again.
God Poseidon.
God Neptune.
Neptune.
God Neptune, not
Neptune,
God
yeah.
Poseidon.
That's what I said, God Neptune.
Shut up. Anyway, I really like the way that looks, but again, I don't know if I can justify dropping however much
50
is
quid?
it, 50, 60 quid?
45. You look in the right place.
You've got the contacts, Alexis.
But no, but if you look at the figure,
45.
itself, the figure. If you look at all 6 figures, what they cost 150 quid, 170. So
Obviously, they're a
yeah.
bit more than that now.
No, it was more than that, yeah.
Well, what, originally
Because
I
they
mean,
weren't cheap. It was like, was it?
They
was it
weren't
like
even
No.
cheap
60?
originally.
60 for
they were
Snaptrap or
expensive.
something? I can't
Yeah.
remember now. How much was it
61.
all?
That's like MP sort of.
It
Well,
was,
bloody
that's why they go. That's
expensive.
why this will go for a fortune now. And there is
Mm.
all this stuff about a possible re-release, but nobody's
But
actually
I don't.
kind of
so
given a real confirmed date or even if it's going to happen. So, and
So
they
this
have
costs more-
like crept them all out. But then there's people who've only got half of the team, and then the other half just never appeared
Mm.
or they never were able to get it. So
So this
Yeah.
thing costs more than Scorponok, right? And the add-on kit makes it look dope, and it's 45, 50 quid for an add-on kit, whereas the free add-on kits for Scorponok cost 50 quid a pop, which doubles the price of him. So I think that's not bad to make him look pretty, because it's the hands, it's the chest, torso, it's the legs, it's new feet, it's the new sword. How are the ratchets? Can he actually hold the gun properly? Because I know with
is it
They're
new feet? Because the
Predaking.
feet on there are the ones that come with the.
isn't it? Is it new feet?
They're the,
No,
they're the
it's new
ones that come with
hands.
them.
I know
To
it's
be
new
The hands
hands.
are articulated, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's decent.
To be honest, it was quite a good set to begin with. It wasn't like
Oh,
the
yeah,
disaster
yeah.
of the original combiners. You know.
No.
No, it's got a bit more strength to it, but I suppose this does make him a bit more chunky.
Mm.
So if
Looking
you
forward,
like
to,
your chunky box,
looking forward to the new ones they're doing. Obviously, construct the what's it called, bots, stunticons, etc. So it'd be good to see what they do because they're going to release them all in the next 5 years probably.
Yes, possible. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Thanks, Andy. Awesome news as always. That brings us to the best bit of the show, which is, of course, Fanstoys Innuendo.
the end.
So we take a photo. You have to guess. So the Fanstoys guys get a little bit passionate about their Fanstoys toys.
Clearly not.
And Yeah, you have to guess. So we've taken the picture away of the Transformer, replaced it with another icon. Before we start this, just need to apologise to Ian. I still love you. So this week, got him a couple of weeks back, but only just got him managed to get him out to play.
This is about it's about him putting you in elite
Ian,
shop,
you
isn't it?
look
Or
so
whatever.
sultry. That's going in the bank.
So many
And it can
screenshots
stay
are
in the
happening right
branch
now.
forever.
If you want people,
That's what she said.
we'll leave this on the screen for a little bit so you can take screenshots.
It's got realistic breathing
I
action.
don't even want to guess yet. Let's just all enjoy the moment.
Feel the
Ooh.
force. Do you see it says Star Wars?
Yes.
Oh, that was made me laugh.
Oh.
No veins. I don't
Hang
know
on,
if you're
sorry.
into
Is it-
veinage.
Sorry.
There's
you
a
buy-
lack of veinage on this one.
Are you
Is this the chat
buying?
where-
Are we
you
just
buying-
giving up ever trying to be a
Is
sort of
this-
family show? Are we just like
Are
deciding
you buying?
not for
Are you
us?
buying?
Not
Is
the
it Darth
disclaimer.
Vader?
I really
Is
hope
it-
the
which
kids
one-
aren't watching.
You get both.
I
If I
thought
pay-
Alexis was about to bring out his personal collection, but actually, yeah.
Actually, I've got these three here. You just get...
Alexis, have you got a guess?
No, I have. I'm still a little bit. I'm just trying not to make so many inappropriate jokes right now. I'm glad Jamie pointed that out because I'll talk to you offline about the jokes.
Anyway,
Let's not. Jesus Christ!
Oh dear me!
You made my mind explode.
Got
Right,
him a
let me read
couple
it.
of weeks back, but
Is it
only
back?
just managed to
It's
take
just
him out
managed
to
to take
play.
him out to play.
Is the picture in any way?
Is
a-
this
a
sound
hint?
wave? Is it
Yep,
sound wave?
Soundwave's right.
Yeah, so they sound.
Is that it?
Has to be- yeah.
I see how you followed the logic there, Jamie. Well done. Great shout. Is it Soundwave? Recently, it's been Soundwave every week, hasn't it? Because they've released a new.
Got me Soundwave, hasn't it?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, so that brings us on to pickups. We can't beat that.
I love the way
so-
I love the way Ian sort of goes. Is that a Darth Vader dildo? Like you don't know, mate. You endorsed it. That was
He was
taken on
asking
your
if
own
it was
page.
version 2. Version 2.
Oh,
version
Beautiful. He hides that body well, doesn't he? So
Oh.
the
Version 1 had
texture of his
pits in it,
skin.
apparently.
Right, here we go.
We now return to the Transformers.
Pickups. Who would like to go first?
Am I going first?
I am.
Cool. Andy, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Cheers, mate.
I've only got the one thing, and that was a very quick story. So Matt Ferguson did a little giveaway on Twitter where he was giving away a signed copy of the new Transformers, the movie, 4K, Ultra HD, blah, blah. You know, all the jazz that, you know. Anyway, I won, and it's arrived. So it's signed.
Nice.
And he's a lovely
Well
man.
done.
Lovely man.
nice. Who
So
si-
yeah,
who signed
I
it?
haven't done anything with it. I literally opened it up. Who signed it? You know that artist. You know his name, Alexis. What's his name again? You know
So
the
Matt
one that you're a big fan
Ferguson.
of. Don't tell him.
Oh, sorry.
Got his name
never
right last
listened to
time.
Paul
He's a big
anyway,
fan,
so-
though. Big fan. Anyway, I haven't really had a chance to really do a hell of a lot with it because I literally been running around all over the place tonight. But yeah, really chuffed. Really happy
Yeah,
to have received this. I'm looking
congratulations.
forward to trying it out and seeing what it's like. I know a lot of people I've seen. I think Jamie, even you'd mentioned that like there wasn't a massive difference in terms of the quality of the picture and
isn't.
sound and
Yeah,
stuff.
you're not-
But
I
I don't
couldn't see it.
care.
I
You can go
couldn't-
with
I
the other
couldn't see it.
12 or versions.
Do you know, I watched it
It's
straight away. I didn't care either. I
love
just
it.
like the whole
It's
thing.
fine.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really means that this could have literally been like just the basic DVD. It's the fact that it's
Yeah.
signed by him and it's his artwork and it is beautiful stuff that he does. So thank you
And the
very
guy
much.
is a genuine fan of Transformers. He collects them himself. He loves
is.
his stuff. Yeah.
Because he did say to me when he was getting my address and everything, he did say I'd mentioned obviously what we do and that I was obviously a big Transformers fan and I was really chuffed to win. And he did make a point of saying how much it made him happy to know that it was going to a real fan and then like a proper fan like
Awesome.
himself. So, you know, so yeah, brilliant. I do recommend picking him up and follow him on Twitter and other things because he does occasionally do these little giveaways and stuff. And he's just great to follow anyway because his artwork and everything he does for other movies and other things as well.
And he does
It's
love
brilliant.
the franchise.
He does, like we do. So, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's all.
Real cool. Right, who would like to go next?
I just wanted to share 3 pictures, Paul. That was all.
Cool. Alexis then?
Cool.
Oh, I'm joking. Yeah, stop.
So I just wanted to share 3 pictures I did for like the Christmas period, and this one was a homage to the sort of UK Fortress Maximus sort of like issue 89, and everything there, you know, is from my collection basically. You know, even the Optimus Prime head there, so you know, for the sort of icon, you know, with the Marvel, you know, 8th of April 89, number 212. And I really like doing that shot and using my fake snow, so trying to get my money worth from Amazon, you know. So yeah, so it's a full-on homage to that issue.
Great shot though, Jamie. I mean, all of your photography's like stepped up just another level recently, but that one, just every element of it, the head down at the front, and then obviously the body, the fact that you used what's it called again, the third party one that you used for the actual body.
Oh yes,
the background and everything, it works so flipping well.
Yeah, I put everything together there to sort of create that sort of juxtaposed, I think it's referred to, sort of image where you sort of put 2 different things together to create a perspective. But yeah,
well,
and this image I really liked actually. Twitter doesn't seem to like it.
Really?
Facebook likes it, Instagram liked it, but Twitter didn't seem to care. But I really liked it. You know, I like to pose and everything, and again using my snow, which is essential. I try to get my money.
When you said I like to pose, I just got these mental images then. Out in the snow in your pants.
I also I like the way Puffer holds those guns as well, because I don't like it on the side of his arms because it's too much to me. Like, it should only be pipes, it should be like that, you know. So it's to make some distinction there. And that rock is the same rock I've used on the one for the cliff face. I used that rock, you know, the image with Jackpot, and I used that rock for the tiger shot as well. So I was getting my value out of that rock as well, using it, just showing you how, if you look at all the images, how you can use the same objects but just from a different angle to create a different you know, image of what, you know, what that rock could be. It could be a cliff face, it could just be a bit of rock, or it could be like a cave, entrance to a cave.
Speaking of your tiger mate, if you look over your left shoulder, he seems quite happy as well down there.
Oh yeah, he's delighted, absolutely ecstatic.
Very happy.
Just a quick one. Arrowfire just texted me and said, if you get your camera, would you take a few pictures of him dressed up as Princess Leia? Is that all right?
Classy shots.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Oh god, I can't talk anymore. No, that's good.
Really sorry, Arrowfire. I keep overly sexualizing you. Although I think I'm under sexualizing you sometimes.
I was going to say, he does a pretty good job himself. So, you know.
He is beautiful.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
And there's just Scourge and Cyclonus, and I imposed the background there, you know, and that's the Northern Lights, so it's about as Christmassy as I could kind of make it. And it's just Scourge asking Cyclonus if he could put up a Christmas tree. And that seemed to be quite popular, even though that was the easiest one to do with no freaking effort compared to...
The important thing is you don't let it bother you, Jay.
And I got over like 30 likes on Instagram. I got like 7.
It's important that you do it for the love and not just for the clicks. Like my stuff. Oh, that one, they were all really good. But that Fortress Maximus one is just...
Oh, I really always wanted to do that.
Transformers the show calendar that will all be Jamie's photos, so that we don't have to put the effort in.
I was waiting for the snow to come, and the snow was never coming, so I went, fuck it, I'm just going to go and buy some of that fake snow. You know?
Bloody snow.
If I was in Glasgow, I probably could have used cannabis or something like that, but you know, snow. But yeah, so I went for that.
Why is that white as well?
Oh, I got a camera stand thing. Three different components I got from Amazon put together. So there's a stand there, which is a small stand.
Are you reviewing a tripod?
A magic
arm. Seriously reviewing a fucking tripod?
Camera. And I've been using that for my sort of photos. And it's very, very good. Excellent. And you beat me.
You're all right there. He took you out.
I've been assaulted by an Amazon device. But yeah. So that's what
it wasn't for me.
Well, let Alexis go for me, sir. I've got a bit of a special unboxing to do, so
brilliant.
You take it away.
So what I got a nice beer calendar from Beer 52, and you get to open one a day. and I've been saving them up. I thought I'd have them all on the show, and every time I open a beer, you get a lovely review. I did try and do it early when I opened this one, so you could hit. So I got wafts of Fields of Elysian, very nice. And this one's called West Coast IPA.
Did you say
6% volume.
It's like fields of fertilizer right now.
I'll do a little read of the
You
back
mean
for you, so
Elysia?
you can test it. So
Are you honestly going to
Lotus-
sit and read off the back of a beer
oh,
can?
just the description,
Watch
and then I'll
that
tell you what
video
it's like.
account.
I did
Here
explain
we go.
to you exactly what pickups are.
Yeah, it's just pickup, right? Okay, anyway, wait. Right.
99 episodes ago.
Now, picture it, right? You're lying there in a field, and it's like Lotus
like
and
naked.
Mosaic hops deliver bright grapefruit
Yeah, it's like
and orange
Princess Leia.
flavor alongside pine aroma on a crisp and drinkable.
You actually
malt
are
base.
reading the whole can, aren't you?
He is.
Ooh.
And now he's
Give it a
drinking the
score
beer.
out of 10. Out of 10.
Well, it's the first one I've tried, so an 8 probably. I've actually. So
Doesn't sound like the first one.
next one I've got is a Vienna Keller Lager.
Are you doing them all now?
No, I'll do them through the show, and I'll stop
right,
you when it's time, and we'll pause for that moment. And then
Yeah,
we've
definitely
got,
will do that.
I've got
That won't
I've
be
got
happening.
I've got a white stout after that. But it'd be lovely because again I get 7 a week, so it'd be quite nice to do that throughout the whole of December, really.
What about those
yeah,
big
sorry.
boxes behind you? Just out of interest.
Yeah, sorry, I got some other stuff.
They look more like, the stuff we're supposed to be talking about.
I got this thing here.
Hey.
It was 30 quid, so down from 80.
Nice
so-
bargain.
Bargs.
I got another Knorr because why not? And I got
You had a haircut as well. Hair looks nice.
You had
Yeah.
a trim.
You look really,
and,
really nice.
All
I
right.
got
Get a room.
Alexis,
Back
Ian.
to you. Hey,
I
Carl.
got another Toy Well Constructor.
No. Oh.
Another one. I wanted one for robot mode. It's heavy. It's got some defects. So apparently a couple of bots have a minor amount of potential cracking. So you buy them for about 600 quid, 700 quid. And I got this for 250. Right, ship. So I'm gonna see what it's like. I've got one in combined mode. I want one for robot mode because I've been trying to find a gravity builder, but I couldn't find one. And then this came up for like dirt cheap. And I was like the same price of gravity builder. I thought, well, if it doesn't quite work, I could just ship it on for the same price.
Cool.
So, I transformed Magnus. So I've got New Age Magnus. He's a lot of fun,
pickup.
actually. And there's so that's quite good.
Still not a pick.
But he's very, very limited in what he is. And then just a really quick thing about Bumblebee. If you put his legs, I'll show you this. If you put his arms in a slightly different position here, I'll use my box of tissues. I haven't got anything flat. It looks like
Convenient to have a box
There's
of
lots
it
of
tissues.
look-
tissues that he just happens
look-
to keep next to his computer.
What do you guys use as
That will
sock?
never go old.
what it goes with this. What's that?
We know. We know.
No,
Right. So if you look right, it looks like it's actually hovering now, like flying. I thought that's quite cool. You just what was that?
What was that? I'd like somebody
That's my
to say,
son, I
"Okay."
think.
So I thought that's just quite cool. Like it looks like he's just like hovering there, like ever so slight. I thought that's quite cool. So it took me ages to get that pose. Yeah, that's
Do you
it.
know it'd be awesome if you actually did pickups one week where we could see the stuff
Shut
you
up.
actually
Oh,
got.
could you imagine
And,
though?
and then you wouldn't need to
Oh,
go and grab them
wonderful.
like weeks later to show people what you've got because
You know what
would
it
have
is?
seen Then.
You can see.
Don't
the
pull a
colour-
face like you're fed
You
up
can
with it. It's
Like-
also fed up with it.
To be fair, the
Oh.
people watching has got jumped by about 10% once he started talking about Kleenex. Right.
Because they look the same on mine.
So my challenge is I'm trying to downsize. I'm trying to like sell
dear.
stuff and I'm trying to clear shelves. And then because I've obviously got a 3-week old child as well, it's quite challenging to actually find any free time at the moment to myself. So I managed to like clear
Weren't you trying to
space.
downsize since last year? Because I'm pretty sure you had complete discussions about downsizing.
And to be fair,
It's
you
not
do
really
find
that.
you do find a lot of free
Don't bring up
time
facts.
doing pickups.
You sound just like my wife.
Right, come on, what else did you get? Did you get anything else? I was going to
No,
move you on.
I'm not sharing anymore. That's it. I'm done.
Just showing it. I'm taking my black ball.
Cheers.
I'm going over.
Right, so this week I picked up this. This is
Oh my
Masterpiece Shark.
Oh, look
Oh
at
my
Um,
god.
It's got loads of Chinese writing on it or Japanese. It comes
Alexis
with that
can
gun.
read that for you.
Look at that gun. Comes with it. It's just got that one accessory, which is a big gun. So live unboxing on TF Transformers show. Let's do this.
It's a shame it's not a dolphin.
I was hoping you'd use your teeth like a shark.
I will later, Jamie, for you.
Oh, yes. Happy Easter.
What is this Sterling happy song?
I've got my tissue ready.
That's the shark. Shark and gun. Because most sharks have a gun. don't they?
Rudy, it's so true.
Is he posable?
He's
Let's
still a
find
shark at
out.
the moment. So it's fine.
Posable shark.
We'll do a hard pan fair.
Go on then. Good
Be
luck.
careful with his legs when you pull his legs out to the side. Be careful.
Just want to say good luck. We're all counting on you.
The screws fray.
Okay. So I definitely don't want to break him because that would be
How's the
the
plastic
worst.
feeling? Is it high
So
quality plastic?
brittle,
High class?
no,
What's
it's
it-
that brittle.
Oh, that's a shame.
Right,
The
these go
legs,
back.
Do you remember that dolphin
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Be careful on the legs.
Have you still got it, Alexis?
No, because they're all the screws frayed at the back.
Oh.
You had
The legs are broke.
two Alexis. You had two of
Yeah, they
them.
both.
No, he's
both
keeping
did
one
it,
minted
and
box,
it
though,
had
Jamie.
sharp edges. So
It's kind of got like you know like how
like-
Springer's legs are.
see, you can't do legs.
Black
Can you?
magic. It's like black magic.
See,
Does the gun fit? So let's check. Oh, yeah, if you push it really hard, and
Think
the
I've
legs
already
just
got-
need to
got
split
away.
out.
Look
Sorry?
at that.
I think I've already
Oh,
got the
come
way.
on, get down. Oh, there's
There
one.
you go.
Beast Wars.
Star Wars.
Look at Oh.
So I got that, and I got the armorer on Black Series Mandalorian, which is cool.
You don't show us that. You show us
It's upstairs.
that.
I drove from Nottingham, didn't I? From here, and I was
Oh, yeah,
texting
yeah, I
you
forgot,
guys, and I was like, "Fuck."
Off you go.
I literally
you
got
gotta
in.
try
We
calling
wanted
us.
a Baby Shark
Yeah.
song. Alexis, this is your chance to shine.
What?
Baby Shark song. Yeah, go for it.
What?
You can do
Oh,
it.
Paul, you go get your Black Series, and we'll do Baby Shark while you get back.
No, it's cool.
Baby.
I'm all right.
It's no problem, though.
Oh, you've crushed his hopes and dreams. Look at his face. Oh dear.
Right, it's time for Rohan's corner. So make some noise for Rohan. Whilst I get this all set up.
Rohan,
This awesomeness.
Rohan. Keep Rohan, Rohan, Rohan.
Rohan, keep the
Rohan.
Rohan.
Hit him high.
Bro, motherfucking.
Rohan.
Can you do it? Can you do it for like another 20 minutes? I don't know where I put it.
Yes. Oh, we could.
R to the O to the H.
We should, this is when we should have a video of
What's the next?
Rohan.
What's the next? What goes
should
after?
have-
Hit him hard, hit him low, hit him
We
in,
should
hit
just
him
have a
in.
video of
Rohan.
Rohan in an engine room.
You're just making noises.
And that's what
like
we
a
should.
drunk person on a bus.
We could have Rohan just
Exactly.
using a
It's
whip
just,
every
it's just
couple
like
of
John
seconds.
Belushi from the Blues Brothers. Then
Yeah, and it could be Rohan. Rohan with glasses with a whip.
I love Shape's having his own conversation. Andy. We'll have our own conversation.
You're imagining Rohan with glasses and a whip right now.
Well,
That's
shades.
it.
Let's make him
Is-
cool.
It's the facial
Is-
hair that's done it.
Let's not
is he
make him
sta-
wacky. Shades.
is
with
he-
a whip.
Is he then standing
Obviously,
over
with some
Arafat?
clothes
In
on.
the,
I'm so sorry
no,
about that.
Fully
is
naked.
he
Embarrassing
standing
everyone.
over
I mean,
Arafat in a gold bikini?
He's just standing there with his shades with a whip. Just,
Oh, I haven't really had a chance to look in the chat, but I really hope Rohan's watching.
Is he standing over Princess Ian in the gold bikini?
I don't think it was there a minute ago. It's just not there now.
Oh,
That sounds awful. Like
do you want to do something else and come back to Rohan?
Oh, I'd love it if you made it as a police officer and it's like evidence. He goes, I don't know what happened to it. It was there a second ago.
know where
It was
that
there a
minute
minute ago.
Oh well, you
3
can go.
kilos of
You-
crack cocaine went.
you can go.
Let go of my goddamn arm.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right, let's move on to something else then. Rohan, Rohan, sorry, I will find you. I will find
Rohan,
you, and I will kill. I
send
won't
it
kill
again,
you.
Rohan.
That's a different thing.
Send it again, Rohan.
Let's do something else.
Did you ever have Rohan?
What's
What's
your favourite thing about Rohan? What's I?
I like the
That
fact, I like the fact he smiles. I don't know.
I like the fact he is a very funny man
Mm.
with a
Definitely.
very good sense of
I
humor.
like the fact that I'm taller than him, so I feel better.
I like his energy and his creativity.
Is that in
I
bed?
always, I always remember the one
he's
where
well
my
groomed.
favorite one was the one where he had all the boxes.
And he
does
smells
smell-
terrific.
Head of the boxes, and his wife
smells
said,
like a
"Is that-"
man, doesn't he? A
His
man's
wife was
man.
like, "Is that Rohan, honey? Is that not a transformer?"
smells like
no,
Groot.
dear. And all the
Oh,
boxes filled up.
like a real man.
Yes.
Roast bass. Oh,
Oh, Sex Panther.
I found out. I remember Rohan sent it. You've got to name it as an MP4 file. I should be able to share it now.
Rohan, you
You
crazy
bugger. You absolute mental. Here we
I reckon
go.
they should remake Roadhouse with Rohan instead of Patrick Swayze. and put Rohan.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the corner. And we're back on our home, Transformers the show. Thank you very much for having us, gentlemen. And this week it's episode 99, celebrating 99 amazingly funny episodes of the show. And I thought, well, this milestone anniversary calls for some celebration. So how should we celebrate? Should we talk about Beast Machines, because that came out in 1999, or should we talk about all the things that are celebrating their anniversaries in 2021? Things like the 35th anniversary of the Generation 1 movie, which has obviously been celebrated by the SS86 line, and obviously the re-release of the 4K film version, or should we talk about something like the 25th anniversary of Beast Wars, which has led to the toys coming back on the shelves, and obviously the introduction of Beast Wars characters into the Kingdom line, as well as the upcoming Rise of the Beast film, which has been delayed till 2023. Or what about the 10th anniversary of Transformers Prime? What a big milestone that is. And how quickly that has crept up on all of us. Who would believe that was 10 years ago we were watching Prime? Still a cracking show, still a decent toy line. But for the 99th episode, I thought, well, next week is the 100th episode, and we should definitely focus on something which is celebrating our big anniversary this year. So I racked my brains, and all the ones that we've mentioned above have already been talked about loads of times. But what about the forgotten anniversaries? What about those ones which people have just glazed over? And one of the big ones for me in 2021 is RID, Transformers Car Robots, as it was known in Japan, launched there in 2000, but first aired in the USA and the UK in 2001. And it's pretty much gone unnoticed. Nobody's mentioned it. There haven't been a plethora of toys coming out to celebrate it. And we haven't really had any media information about it either. And that's very sad for me, because I really enjoyed the 2001 RID series. It brought me back into Transformers at that stage, having been out in the cold during the Beast era, having not really enjoyed that during the actual launch of that in the time. And it gave us pretty much everything. You know, we had Beasts in the Predacons, we had Autobots who were going back into their sort of traditional alternate modes with cars and trucks and the such like. And trains were introduced, which was pretty cool. We had Fortress Maximus, I mean, come on. And it was our first introduction to the Japanese style of animation for those of us who didn't get a chance to see Headmasters, Master Force and Victory. And it was pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you would agree with me and say that this was your avenue back into Transformers in the early 2000s. So that's an important one. How about the 35th anniversary of the GoBots movie Rock Lords? Who didn't like Rock Lords? Okay, I jest. Who did like Rock Lords?
The movie is almost here. GoBots, Battle of the Rock Lords.
Yes, Orange.
Soon, on the big screen, you will meet Heroic Boulder, Evil Magmar, the Gnarly, and a cast of fantastic new Rock Lords.
This is one battle I do not intend to lose.
GoBots, Battle of the Rock Lords, the movie. From Clubhouse Pictures, rated G.
It was okay. It was a film about rocks that turned into robots? Well, cyborgs, I suppose, because the GoBots are cyborgs. But yes, rocks. And some dinosaurs. But ultimately it's watchable, it's entertaining, and it was also the nail in the coffin for GoBots. They pretty much did not survive after that. Oh well. And then what about the most important anniversary milestone of all? The one that nobody has talked about, the one that's been on my mind all year, that I've been just pleading and hoping someone will come and talk about. And it is, of course, the anniversary, the 30th anniversary of the brilliant video game Lotus 2 Turbo Challenge that came out on the Amiga. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the little video that's popped up right here. This game was epic. I remember playing it with my cousins. I must have been all of 6 or 7 years of age, maybe a little bit older. And we absolutely loved Lotus 1 with the gimmicks of getting the fuel and jumping over the logs and all of that sort of good stuff. And Lotus 2 had the best theme song ever. And it had a great OST as well. So, yeah, has to be celebrated. And I know this is a Transformers show, but sue me. And it's not just about the anniversary of the game. What about crossovers? I mean, we've had some classic crossovers from Hasbro over the last few years. Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, X-Men, and now Jurassic Park. But why can't we have a Lotus crossover? Who wouldn't love to see the classic Lotus cars transforming into robots? And even more so, if you could make it a triple changer, turn it into the Bond-themed one that went underwater as well. Okay, it might look a little bit like the Mask Venom car that used to do pretty much the same thing. I think it was called Mantis, but hey ho, I don't care. It would be great. So, what is your favourite milestone anniversary for 2021? How do you wish to celebrate it? And at the same time, what about episode 100? What would you like to see? There's going to be something special, I promise you. Catch you next week, and I will see you all there. For another week, I've been Rohan on Rohan's Corner. Back to the studio.
Don't worry. I'll be back, my dear little Trindles. I promise you that.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.
Rohan, that was awesome. So if you do want to join us next week for our 100th episode spectacular, we have loads of guests who have been on the show so far. And we're going to do some shots, some bots.
This is
some of us
Utopian Brewing Keller Lager.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Mute him.
Wait a minute. This one says Vienna Lager was a revolution when it was brewed back in the 19th century. It's going to be a long one, this one. Combining Bavarian brewing.
Beppe was mentioned by Rudy, who...
the Beppe is back.
A slight resemblance.
Quite long. Which side, man? On that side.
He's not like your Rohan, is he, bro? He likes that masculinity. Alexis, you tried to get your face on the screen. Jesus Christ.
It's quite long that way. I'm only about halfway through.
Oh, God.
It's a 330ml can. Get it down.
Right, cool. So what's next? It is time for foreplay. Foreplay. Let's find a little intro for that bad boy. Intro. Jamie's gone. He's had enough.
I feel our audience needs to know, though, Paul, that just to like give you a bit of backup here. Poor Paul literally arrived home from a very long drive from work like 5 minutes before we came on air. So give him his cues.
I woke up at
5:30.
I done the show, set it up, left at 5:30 in the morning, went down to Nottingham, which is like 250 miles away, and then got back like 10 minutes before the bloody show starts. Such is my commitment. Right, foreplay. Here we go.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
We're such a silly Transformer show, aren't we? Right, so this week, foreplay is all about we will choose a Transformer character. So this week is Arcee, and we will choose something to showcase along that theme. So who would like to go first? What Arcee did you get? Alexis.
Which one you doing?
Go on, Alexis.
Which one you doing?
I was going to do Nice-E. No, I wasn't really. I'm not a pervert. What were you going to do?
Didn't you have that little miniature Arcee thing?
I'll go first.
That little anime.
He's got a mini Arcee.
He's got many arse here.
What I don't like is Jamie can see me now getting ready because he's got access to StreamYard. So, so I can see all your
He's
voice. If I
watching.
grab, Jamie
Always
knows
watching.
what I'm doing. Which is funny because I was cracking one out earlier and I thought, why is he looking weird? And it was because of that. Right.
Didn't put you off your stroke, though, did it?
No. If anything.
He did not
Maybe.
disappoint.
All he did was look into the camera
Anything
more.
else? Just grease the wheels.
Stop looking! Stop looking! Stop looking!
Oh.
Right, okay. I'll go first then quickly then. So I went for, as Jamie alluded to, so Mukudu, which is magic square. I think they call this, is it chibi? Something like that. It's like
chibi.
cute heads.
Cheeky
and
bum shot there.
cheeky wee bum shot. I promise you, I
Don't
didn't
say
buy
things like that.
it for her bum shot because she looks like a kid, Jamie.
A cheeky bum shot. You've not thought that through.
Paul, make it pose sexy. Make it pose sexy.
No, I'm not going to make it post sexy.
Don't do that. I remember
this-
when Paul showed this the first time. My
Paul
daughter
can't do
saw
it.
that bit
He
of the
can't
episode.
pose
My
it.
daughter
Paul
likes
can't-
this, so don't turn this
Paul
into
ca-
something
Paul
sick.
can't pose it sexy.
Sorry, go on, Paul.
I can't pose so sexy,
You can, but
but I can. So yeah, she was my choice. This is an RC character. It's insane how she transforms. Massive head. How does that transform? Well, you can kind of see it there. To an equally awesome robot mode, alt mode. So yeah, absolute. It's Magic Square as well. So it's got that. The plastic feels a little bit better than normal Magic Square plastic. Comes with a knife and a gun. But the fact that her whole head is like pretty much 60% of the transformation is great.
Was.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Camera's gone now. It's all going wrong. Enough of that. I just had Arcee turned up the other day from Fanstoys. Wasn't that impressed? If I had to choose one from a mold, it'd probably be Wingblade.
How many
Which
are
is
you
something
doing?
that Alexis gave me. It's just an honourable mention. That's all it is. Which is based on the Arcee mold from Iron Factory, which is one of the hardest to find Iron Factory robots. And Alexis got it for me and gave it to me for the price he paid, like an absolute captain. And if I ever sell it, we'll split the profits, I promise you. Because it's
No.
sometimes I look at how much it goes for and think, fuck, I like it.
How much does it go for?
Like £400 now.
How much?
Are you fuck off?
Honestly.
All right.
Seriously.
Language,
Jesus
Alexis.
Christ. Jesus.
Yeah,
No,
crazy.
because I think I got it for what did I get it for like 80 quid?
£69.
So, was it cheap as that?
60.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It was
No, it was.
ridiculously
That's
cheap.
how much
Sure
you
it was
charged me.
69 pounds.
That wasn't the real value, Paul. That's what you wanted to charge.
Right, who's next? Who wants to go next?
It'll
I'll
cost
go
you
next.
69. Is that not what you might have heard?
That's what Alexis text me.
No, I wish I bought two. I would have kept one for scalping.
Are you suggesting you
went
misunderstood? You said,
69
I'll give
pence
it
of
for
Alexis.
69.
It was the last one. It was the very last one they had. So I knew Paul wanted it. So I bought it and kept it for a few months because I knew he wanted it. So
Let's spend the rest of this just talking about that. 400, bloody hell. Anyway, Titans Return RC.
Nice.
Because I love the mold. I love the blur mold from Titans Return. Obviously the Rebirth. We've talked about it so many times, but Rebirth was like my favorite G1 episodes, cartoon, whatever you want to call it. And I absolutely love that version of RC, the idea of a headmaster. And I love this mold, as I said. And yeah. And it was a gift. It was a Father's Day gift. So yeah. And also, it's so much better. This is so much better than, I'm sorry, the Earthrise or Kingdom version. If you've got them and you like them, good for you. But it's not a great toy. It's a nice looking RC. It looks a lot like the kind of animation model of RC, but it's not a great toy. Whereas this is fun. This is fun to play with. It's a good figure. All right, the vehicle mode might not look exactly like RC's vehicle mode should, but just I enjoy playing with this, and so much more than I ever did the other two versions. So yes, my one, and I'm not a massive fan of RC anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against her. I don't see why there's the massive appeal about her. But my version would definitely be Titans Return RC, which is great. But I prefer Windblade. Anyway, that's me.
Good choice. I think if I chose my favourite female character, probably Strongarm. Strongarm was good. Jamie.
Oh yeah, she was good. Yeah, in RID.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Alexis, go next.
Okay.
You go.
Okay.
Looking for a photograph that I had. my RC.
Okay, you go. You go. I'll show you Windblade.
Jamie's doing exactly the same thing I did, which is looking for a
There's
photograph.
Windblade. Windblade's great. That's a great version of Windblade.
No, Alexis, I'm a
get
professional.
this version of Windblade if you can. Or is it the Legends Takara version?
I think the
RID
RID one looks better than that.
one.
Is
It's
that
not.
the Tyson's
the RID
Return one?
is the RID
Which
one
one's that?
is a cheap plasticky piece of crap. This is a solid figure. This is the Titan's Return version, which is rare as well, and seems to go for a fair amount. But no, I'm not selling this one. I love this version, and the jet mode is just mint. I love that.
I did have both. I did prefer the RID one.
Then you need
it was a
something
better.
hard. You also
you need something hard. Your solution to everything, isn't it? You need to be bummed. What? That's the solution.
No, that's not what I said.
You said that you need something hard.
Don't turn it into some line from.
You're like that guy
TV
from
film.
Simpsons, the old man who says, "That's a paddling." You look him. Do you
Yeah,
scream me?
yeah.
That's a bumming.
That's a paddling.
That's a bumming. Right. So talking about bums. Here we go. Jamie, save us, please.
So basically, as you might guess, I do think
Bloody hell, that's a lot of asses.
I do.
That's a lot of arses. He's an RC man.
Yes,
Guzzy
that's the
Hero's
thing,
in his
isn't it?
element now. Woo.
When you start collecting Transformers, you're like, I only get one of each version. You know, I only get one Optimus Prime, one, and you end up looking at your collection, and suddenly you've got 6 Megatrons, about 18 Optimus Primes, and suddenly you've got like freaking 9 RCs and stuff like that, and you're just going, dear God, where have all these figures came from? And yes, RC has been done quite a lot, you know, ways that mold has been retailed, the hands have been changed, little fixes, the thighs been brought closer together, etc. There's been lots of little wee tweaks with RC, as you can even see by looking at that photograph there. So stop sharing. And then one of my favorite RCs, another one which has been remolded and retweaked, the hands changed so it could just hold on to this massive weapon, which sounds really dodgy to say.
Is there a figure there?
This massive weapon used to belong to Optimus Prime, so she's holding Optimus Prime's big weapon. And hands have been remolded to make sure she can get a grip of Optimus Prime's weapon. And that's this massive Titan blade killer weapon which she's got there, which is I think bigger than RC and even wider than RC. But the paintwork done in this figure, you know, it's sort of like black, sort of ninja-esque type, you know, look. It was part of a box set, which I think was Titan Hunter Killers or sort of Titan Hunters, you know, which came with like Windblade and I've forgotten the name, the blue car.
Nacelle. Oh no, I know what you mean.
The blue bike one. I've forgotten the name. Oh, it just
Chromia.
escapes me. Yeah, Chromia. You know, so they came together with ridiculous massive weapons as well. And but yes, so RC, it does make the remolding apparently makes it a bit more trickier for her to hold the smaller weapons, but you know, she's got no problem holding Optimus Prime's old weapons. So yes. And it is just a good figure. I mean, nice bright colours. I don't know. It's just like one of those sort of gift sets where you actually want because the paint works really good. Not so much toys, because when you look at the Windblade, you know, it's based on the original old mold. And it's, you know, fragile on the feet. You know, those high heels are a bit ridiculous, really. Chromia looks awesome, though. I mean, they all look awesome. But RC, you know, the way the eye patch is done in the face, if you can, because you can't really see it because of the way she's holding that weapon. But, you know, if you get a chance, you know, look at some images of RC, the eyes really glow up as well. And they're really quite easy. If you conveniently, if you get...
was that a Takara exclusive pack or something? I don't remember that ever being over here in the UK. Or at least not from like official retailers.
You know, I don't know if you can see the eyes glow up.
Making big?
You know,
Paul making big. Jamie makes up.
Yeah, you can. You can see it.
I think Paul's distracted slightly.
Yeah, Paul's distracted by the beauty. Looking at his tissue boxes, going, should I
Paul's trying to get a football score.
You know.
Sorry, little enfants terrible awake.
But
he's thinking about Optimus Prime's big weapon.
Yeah, so no need to
Thanks,
make it
Tom.
big for me.
Thanks.
You know, but yeah, so there's RC and a wonderful hunter killer get up. I never actually read the comics where if she went hunter, and I think in the Machina which was done, I think it was Windblade that was going around killing combiners at one point. So I don't know if RC took part because I never really watched the Machina.
Isn't
yes.
it based off IDW and the RC and that was basically going around just
Yeah,
assessing, killing people and...
Well, yeah, she went a bit mental, didn't she? She just lived for the fight. Then she got, it depended on the writer, character changed. But I've not really finished the old IDW. I'm currently reading the new IDW lore, which in issue 36 I'm on just now, the mainline, and I read all the supporting issues and the special editions. The story is eventually started to kick off and it's starting to actually be quite good. You know.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Mick's comment.
It's a shame.
What's Mick's comment?
Just agreeing, basically, saying IDW based, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, Alexis, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
He gets the big screen.
Sorry.
There we go. So,
bigger screen, smaller photos.
I can never decide on my RC. So I had a few. I've got rid of one of these now. I've got three of the four. I've actually got more than this actually as well. But so from left to right, you've got so the two on the two ends. You've got Azalea and Azalea A, which are MMC. The middle left is Fanstoys. Middle right is Takara. I think they all do different things well. And a couple of honorable mentions as well to MMC's Hunter Killer. I think it is like the IDW version they had of her as well, and then you had the RC from Animated as well. I think Richard Rider's got the bike as well, like the blue bike, the blue RC bike. It's APC Toys, I think it is. That's really cool. Just didn't scale with anything, so I still got the Hunter Killer, but that one I got rid of. Let's click the right screen. Yep, there we go. So they do different things well in essence, like they pose in different ways, all articulate different ways, stuff like different things. So this is just a little homage to what I call RC's Angels. That's why I wanted to do this. And I was going to do this actually on the channel, but I just time got away from me. So just different various poses there, really. So you can pick different things that you like about them. I like the Takara, the head sculpt, and I like some of the way that she can pose with single hands. The Azalea actually can crouch on one knee very well. She looks good from most angles, but she's got a really dopey like neck as well. And Fanstoys Rouge is good for dynamic poses. So which I'll show in a second. I'll flick through a couple of them because again, you guys don't want to see all these photographs. I'll put one on Instagram eventually. There's Arcee in with Daniel. So again, almost like when she's about to blow through that pipe in Unicron. With Springer and Hotrud, as Andy would say. And there she is, blasting Decepticons as they change Autobot City as well. So I think she's really cool with that. And I think she scales really well with that Daniel as well there. And it's Fanstoys, Hot Rod, and MMC Saltus Springer there as well. Same photos. That's Azalea. So this is what's it? It goes, but couple and hub just outside the city. That's in there. Blur snuck in there because I thought I'd do a little bit of shot with the Junkions. Because if everyone remembers the scene there, what happens after Blur gets away from that, Arcee then turns the bike over because the Takara version comes with that little wheel thing. And although they don't quite scale, like the bikes are quite big compared to the cars. And the robots look massive on top of that as well. I think the studio, is it Studio Series or Kingdom Red Guard would actually look quite good on this sort of size bike, I think. Because the bike's always a bit bigger and going the same way. There we go. Turned over. There we go. Just before. So these, again, I've done in traditional Andy style. The photographs aren't in the correct order. We'll live with it.
Don't call it Andy style. Messenger, mate. Messenger. Don't bloody blame me. Spend ages trying to sort these bastard things into the right order. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Andy style.
Slap you next time. Sound like Gangnam style. Anyway.
So these are my favorite poses for each of these bots, really. So top left is Fanstoys. I think she's got the ability she can just pose on her tiptoes there like that. And again, once you've transformed her once and back and forth, her joints become a little bit loose in those areas. So a little bit of kiwi juice. Because I did this last time, she just sort of flops over. So a little bit of kiwi juice, leave her overnight. She's then able to do this pose again. The bottom left is the Takara RC, which I think is the best car mode that they've done, really, which looks really cool. The MMC car mode bottom right is the Azalea, the traditional model with the flat feet, and the A model at the top right there. The difference is the paint's a little bit more purpley, and she's got high heels there compared to the Azalea, which has got the flat one, the flat feet. I actually sold my traditional Azalea bottom right. I prefer the pink one. What I'd like to do, really, I've actually bought a Lita 1 head from Kingdom, from Siege. I think the head sculpts are pretty much the same, so I think they could actually swap out and you could potentially repaint it. So once I find a customizer which could do that potentially, that might become my Lita 1, which looks pretty cool. But they are my Arcee's Angels in their different modes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for that. That was really good. I just realised how loud my volume is. It just blew my ears off. Great. Oh, there's McDonald's chat. Let me get involved in this. Right. So tonight our discussion
the Transformers
is all about IDW. So tonight we've got the news this week, didn't we? Have you got any pictures of the news?
Loads, but not of that.
It's discussion time.
We now return to the Transformers.
Stupid 19th century fucking.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's our professionalism that sets us apart from everybody else.
So, who wants to kick this off? So, IDW, the news was that they might be losing the license. I'll get some more confirmation now as you guys talk about it. But yeah, what does that mean?
It means somebody else will take it over.
Well, does it mean no more publishing? It's the publisher. IDW publishers, aren't they? They're not the writers. They're not the artists. They're the publishers, right? So, is that right? They're the guys that.
Well, I mean, there'll be Transformers comics.
It's like Dreamwave,
some
isn't
form
it?
of it. You'd imagine
Marvel Comics, right? Yeah.
But it depends why they're losing the license. If they are losing the license, and
well,
I think Jamie might have some views on the reasons why they might be losing the license. But the reality is it based on sale? Does it essentially come down to how much money they're making out of it? Are Hasbro the ones who are saying, right, well, this isn't working out, so we're going to take somewhere else? Is it even true? Because we don't know this for a fact, I don't think. I know there's been rumors about it, but I haven't seen anything that's officially said they are losing the license. So
I thought IDW came to an end, a natural conclusion. I thought there was a natural conclusion to the end of phase 2? I thought that came to an end. Like, no spoilers, no spoilers, please. But
no, yeah, I know what you mean, but then they kind of.
Jamie's on mute.
Aren't we in phase 3 now?
I'm
not on mute.
Oh,
you were a minute ago.
Right.
It was showing you on the mute anyway. But phase 3, is that what we are now?
Well, no. I mean, the whole point was Transformers was relaunched. IDW was
so it's complete relaunch.
2 years ago. And every time I showed my comic, remember Alexis would ask, "Oh, what's this?" and ask the same fucking question every time, because he never bothered listening. You know, to the first time.
I'm glad he didn't bother you, though, Jay.
I'm a visual person. I need mime.
You know
what? Mime.
Well, Jamie was trying, but again, he was using his mouth too much, like with his muted. Like, I need more jazz hands.
We're still talking about the comics. I don't know, because you see, the thing is, I dropped out at the end of kind of Lost Light and all of that phase of it. I just wasn't interested in the new stuff that was coming out, and I kind of waited because I was wanting to hear what it was like. And Jamie was very honest in his appraisal of the comic books that came afterwards, and did point out it was very slow, like really slow to get going. I think that's fair to say, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, it was about issue 24 when things started to take off.
Jesus Christ, when you're 24 issues in before it starts getting action.
I think it suffered because basically all the fun stuff I think a writer would like to do, they sort of like go off in a tangent for a couple of episodes, he couldn't do because they were doing specials like, you know, Transformers Galaxy, which had fun, good stories in it, but still connected to the main story. You had Transformers Escape, you had the Wreckers recently coming out, and then you have those special editions. So it was almost in a way like the main writer sometimes was getting punished. As you got the guest writers, you get the fun stuff to do with this character, you know, and you got these parameters and you can get outside the box a bit more, where he was busy setting up the groundwork and the lore and the main storyline, which all the other writers could feed off of. And I think that's the reason they got him, because he's a proven novelist, you know, with a good CV on building up sci-fi stories and building up whole universes, you know, and giving structure and imagination. Where I think a lot of some of the other writers, they really haven't got that. They've got that CV of jumping ship to different franchises, destroying it, and then moving on to something else because maybe their writing isn't that. Maybe the writing isn't that good. It's none of it. I know some people might say this word like woke or something like that, but comics have been woke for decades and they've always been good like that. You know, they've always been pushing issues forward. So that's not something new when it comes to comics. What's new is a lot of people are using the excuse of, oh yeah, just because we're pushing an issue, people don't like it. No, it's because your writing's pish. But I don't think, to be honest, with the Transformers stuff I've been reading, and I listen to you guys, and you guys have taste. You like the old IDW stuff. You know, you said that was good. You know, some of these things won awards. So I don't see writing being an issue, and I don't see sales being an issue because the comics are getting produced. If comics haven't got the sales of the people putting down the pre-orders to go there, they drop them like a brick. Well, Marvel and DC do. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I do know the West is struggling just now when it comes to their comics, apart from when you look at countries like Eastern Europe and etc., where they're going to their own stock, you know, comics done in their own language. But when you look at Asia just now, like Japan, you know, Korea, Malaysia and stuff, their comics are really doing well, especially, you know,
because manga's still flying, isn't it? Like there's no
but manga's, you know, it's a complete whip industry. You know, these people are overworked and are stressed, and it's not, and it's sometimes you're not comparing like for like, because when you look at a lot of the UK comics, and to be fair, some of the artwork is amazing. And the colours are amazing. The perspectives they use are good. And you look at manga, okay, some of it's nice, but the artwork is not comparable in many respects.
No, I mean, I was trying to draw comparisons with, again, looking at the reasons behind why potentially it might be being removed. And again, looking at the flag leads in the West, which potentially, like you look at Marvel or DC as examples, or 2000 AD of comics which have been around for decades, and it's like, well, I don't read them, but I'm sure obviously they've reinvented themselves so many times over decades, right? And as you said, I think you said, Jamie, before the show, there's the potential of decline now, but obviously they've reinvented themselves. How many times they've been around for?
Well, that's the thing. You writers kept coming in and destroying the franchise and trying to fix wrongs which were imagined and never were wrongs, and then you know,
your point was though.
And no, but the thing is, I think there's a language that was always getting used. We're coming in to fix, and they were using the language so much that when they used it against franchises which had nothing wrong with them, like Cowboy Bebop, which was written by a female writer who was a main writer,
really good. I finished that yesterday.
And they used the same language they would use when destroying, when other franchises, we're fixing the wrongs of the man. It's because they had no fucking clue of the heritage or the lore of that comic. And I sometimes think they don't even bother looking at the lore, because Icon to me, I've got his first issue of Icon, which was Image Comics, a fantastic character, and they can use that, but they don't want to because they keep coming at excuse, oh, people won't relate to him, they don't know who he is. Well, they'll never know who he is unless you write about him. And Icon started to appear in the DC animation stuff now. It's a sin that he's appearing in DC animation cartoons over comics, which you should be used. And you've got so much of that heritage. As I said, comics have been using these characters for decades, and yet new writers are coming in and they just don't seem to know about this stuff. But
Jay,
I think, as I said, I don't think Transformers has that problem.
If I could stop you there, mate, this is a Christmas Yule Ale. So it's been taken from a holiday classic, updated to 2021.
Oh, I can't wait for next week.
This rich and malty red ale with honey and cinnamon and orange.
To be fair,
peel
the chat is mostly about McDonald's burgers.
Aroma and flavour, replicating the unmistakable flavours of Christmas cake.
Oh, dear.
I think with Brian Buckley, Brian Buckley, someone made a comment. Brian Buckley is boring as fuck, and I think sometimes with Brian Buckley, he's Scottish.
Love Ryan Luckley.
You imagine going through. Don't pretend you even knew who that was. He had a sort of like baptism of fire with the Transformer fandom, and we've seen how they went against Simon Furman, and he made some. Well, he didn't make some mistakes, but some artists made some mistakes the way they drew certain scenes, and he had to apologize for that and say it wasn't connected because comics were done 6 months in the past the way they'd done, so there was no way they could have possibly known it would match the current world events. And so he's had a kind of a baptism of fire. You know, and I think he's had to watch himself when it comes to dealing with new Transformer fans. It must be a bit.
What's the latest story that's out at the moment? Have you started to crack the? Have they started?
Well,
to spread
there's a
out
war
bit?
going on in Cybertron. It's against the Decepticons. Autobots versus the
Whoa,
Decepticons.
what? This is
Yeah.
news.
Spoilers.
When did this start?
Look at this, Jamie.
You can't just drop that kind of bombshell.
Damn you, sexy
The war
Scottish
started.
man.
Yeah, the Decepticons were called the
Fuck's sake.
Insecticons to begin
Well,
with,
who
but now they're
started it?
full-on Decepticons.
Can I just say as well? I just realised that the news.
Megatron, he's evil
Where were
again.
Where were those? Where were
Is he
those
a new
Megatrons?
character?
I just remembered. I just looked for the pictures earlier, and the Megatron boobs that I've shared on the news. Why didn't they come on the news?
Because we're
they're
not
crap.
putting that on the news yet.
We're not putting that kind of trash in.
That's real news.
Keep
No,
your
it's
wank bank stuff off our news.
That wasn't
Exactly.
even fun. That wasn't even meant to be a joke. I was sincere. Where was Mega boobs?
It's part of your wank bank.
Do you think it's Guzzy made the point about like the push? Comics have always reflected society around them, but sometimes are they, certainly with the new comic, are they pushing certain issues too much? Like instead of concentrating on the story and the character and driving it on, more about, like you said, the whole thing of whatever you want to call it, woke culture or whatever. Is it more to do with that now than it is with actually, right, is it a good story? Are the characters likable? If you don't like the characters, you're not gonna, it doesn't matter about historically.
I think if you've got good writing, if you're a good writer, you can push any fucking issue you want and people will lap it up. You look at Final Fantasy VII, you know, eco warriors against that evil capitalist organization, bundle and waste, you know, and people lapped it up because it's a good story. You know, and talk about cultures and indigenous people and looking past what you see through the labels and seeing what's in there. And Final Fantasy VII had all of that, and even though like a shocking ending at some point. And I think we sometimes the woke excuse is used by people to cover up bad writing. And I think that's what it is. I think good writing, you can have any issue you want. And I think comics, as I said before, have always been woke. And woke's been a good thing. It's only been changed negatively now because it's been overused by both sides in some Twitter arguments. And I think sometimes it's bad PR. It's a journalist take on what the writer or the actors or whatever artists are involved. So the artist might say something like, oh, I want to push this issue, but they've used it in the context of talking about a greater thing as well. But the journalists will focus on maybe 2 sentences and suddenly that's the story and they'll cut out other stuff. So I think sometimes it's PR, which can sometimes affect a comic before it can get off. But I honestly don't think that's been an issue with Transformers. You know, Transformers has gone back to basics and just building a universe out there.
Just as well, a lot of the characters which I remember in the Marvel comics didn't necessarily have a very good toy, and they weren't. And so you read that? I was like, yeah,
sorry, I was just, yeah.
So the trigger bots I remember quite a lot. In the trigger bots got tortured almost quite a lot, didn't they? They got the trigger bots went with City of Fear, with Magnus and Flywheels, and they got attacked. And then I swear there was one when they were in the sewers. There was like monsters coming out of the sewers against the Triggerbots as well, and like the Triggerbot, and obviously got the captain, the Autobot and the Decepticon Triggerbots obviously got captured as well, didn't they? And again, like you had some almost like the lesser bots sometimes take the spotlight a lot more in the Marvel comics than they would do anywhere else. As opposed to the.
I'll be honest
TV
with you,
series.
I'm starting to enjoy the new Transformer comics. So I've been reading quite a lot of them right
Phase
now,
3.
catching up. I wouldn't say Phase 3, so it's complete relaunch, and it's funny. I think he's starting to get a handle on some of the characters. You mentioned Flywheels there. I take it that's the one that transforms into the plane and tank again. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, that's him.
You know, he's in the comic there, and he has some classic lines that had me laughing. You know, and
like you said, Jamie, doesn't it come down to good writing?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and when you look back at that earlier IDW period, we had really good writers who were big fans of the franchise as well. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And that kind of shone through from the love they put into the characters. The characters were likable and you cared about them. Like the More Than Meets the Eye and to a certain extent the Lost Light stuff, you cared about what was happening to these characters. You wanted to read the next issue because you actually gave a damn. is that still there?
I'm
as
starting to
much?
feel like that. I mean,
Right.
as I said
It's
before,
taken
I
a
think-
while then.
Yeah, as I said before, I think Brian Buckley was kind of stuck in a box while the other guys got to experiment and have fun with the offshoot stories. But he's helped create that universe, and it's starting to work. There's strong, good characters in there, and it makes sense. They're not there just for any old excuse. He's had a pattern. You know, Pyra Magma's a good character. You know, she's strong, determined. You know, could be a good Autobot leader actually, and it's good. It's a good direction to the story now. It took a while, but when you think about Transformers when it first launched, I had a hell of a. It started definitely. The battle was on. You were straight into the action, and it was heavy on the dialogue, freaking super heavy on the dialogue. Where they were trying to catch people up to speed. Where other comics, they've not been like that. So it has been a slow burn. But then it's not had what the UK comics had, where you had an issue every 2 weeks.
That was the same.
More story coming to. So
that was the same as the original comics, wasn't it? There was a lot of dialogue at the beginning.
Yes, very heavy in the dialogue.
And very hard, like to read as well. Like,
yes. Oh yeah, it was like paragraphs you could have, and you got to understand with the 24 issues, which before it started to heat up. In our perspective, it would be UK comic would have been equivalent of issue 14. You know, even issue 12 actually. So you know, sometimes it's easier to criticize because you're waiting because there's a longer time. So what I tend to do is I tend to keep my comics I wait till I've got 4 issues, then I read them, and I find it much more enjoyable that way.
Do you have a better comic than Transformers, Marvel, and recent issues? Is there another comic you prefer more?
Really spoiled.
I liked anything with Brian Kirby? Jack Kirby, when he wrote the Justice League. I thought that was immense. It was hilarious.
Do you collect a lot of other comic book lines?
Yes, Justice League, Teen Titans, Superboy, Batman, all of them, quite a lot. Icon. I like to go for the ones which were just coming out, like Icon.
Invincible, you had, didn't you, as well, didn't you? Did you read that one?
Yeah, I liked Invincible because Invincible, I think, spoke out to me. He was like a mixed heritage individual. I think it was good to have that, and it was showing you that a new character can work. And Invincible didn't have an easy run. You know, there was a lot of people were going for it. You know,
that was really cool.
Some of the storylines were really kind of like, whoa, you know, not the easiest to digest. And the Invincible writer went through and he stuck to his guns. He never once fucking apologized for any of his stories.
What about UK comics? What UK comics you'll read?
Well, I think you're the expert in that, Paul. You Judge Dredd, which was always amazing.
2000 AD. The trendsetter, wasn't it? 2000 AD. What about you guys? Was it always American comics?
I remember Young Justice got a lot of slate at the time when it was released. I didn't read the comics. I watched the TV series, but that's just the same thing.
That's the same, yeah,
exactly the same. I remember, but the same.
Judge Dredd. That's the same.
No, but it got a lot of slack at the time about the writing as well. About it was trying to push the boundaries, and it was again. I haven't read the comics of Invincible. I've watched TV series because I'm a more visual person. That's just who I am. I can't absorb myself. I struggle to read. I'm now on phase 2. I've read the whole of phase 1 of IDW. Phase 2, I'm on book 4 or 5 of the hardbacks. And again, I need to pick it back up again. It's just once it gets slow, I struggle to read it. So the whole point of Jamie saying like 24 episodes in, like you're going, and like if it puts me to sleep.
I'm not
like,
laughing at you, mate. I'm not laughing at you. It's just
the comment.
Viz is amazing.
Viz is just 2018. Was it Fleetway Editions that was the publisher for them?
Yeah, Fleetwood were Fleetway were in during the 80s. I'm not sure if they were in the 70s.
I mean, I do think British writers have had a big advantage in the sense. I mean,
look at Alan Moore.
Yeah, but I'm being biased. But I'm just saying, I think British writers had more grounding and have a better world view. But I would say, I'm being a bit unfair, but I would say a lot of American writers who are very centric on America and are very.
We have Thatcher to thank for that, don't we? A lot of English, and honestly, a lot of English writers. Like, I didn't grow up. I was alive during the 80s, but it wasn't my teenage years. But a lot of the English writers thank Thatcherism for their views. Like Alan Moore is like massively influenced by Thatcher and what she. Not in a good way. He doesn't like it.
Thank you, Margaret Thatcher. I love you.
I was Ninja Turtle as well.
You're the greatest.
I remember Ninja Turtles.
You could be a superhero who doesn't sleep much.
Bucky O'Hare, like Bucky O'Hare as well. It's quite good.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
But some of the best American writers, you know,
I still remember that line from whatever it was.
I would say a lot of writers. I grew up when you looked at it, it was probably it was coming to the end of the Silver Age. We're coming into the 90s and 80s, where it was comics were really funny. They had the advantage of writers who had lots of different careers and maybe even done military service and had a lot of life. So I think sometimes that came in, and that dark humor was part of that. Where I think with new writers, it's harder for that really, and it's harder. It's harder to come from a poor area to become a writer. You know, social mobility is almost dying in the UK. So I think you're almost decreasing that pool of talent.
See, I don't have much of a dog in this fight because I grew up on Transformers comics, Visionaries, Mask. I think there was Star Wars at the time. And then I reached a certain age and I kind of just stopped reading comics because
you were 37.
I wish I'd read them that long. But then I only got back into it in the mid 2000s or whichever year it was. Oh, who didn't love the Daily Sport? And the Sunday Sport, cracking read. But then it was Dreamwave. The Dreamwave comic books was what I still remember going into Forbidden Planet in Leeds, like just walking past.
Amazing art.
And I was in my early 20s, and I saw like all this stuff, and I saw, oh God, there was some Transformers stuff in the window. I went, bloody hell! Oh, I'll go and have a look in here. And there was like the Transformers comic books and stuff, and I just bought one on a whim, and that was part of that whole period where I started to kind of get back into it. And I remember like talking to friends of mine and people I knew, and like, oh yeah, I bought this thing, and they're like, oh, why? Like, because I loved it as a kid, and it's great. Look at it, like, have you seen it? Look at the artwork, and they're all like, oh, it's very good artwork.
Yeah.
But that drew me back in. And if I'm being brutally honest, if you said to me, right, are you a big comic book reader? Not really. Some of the Batman stuff, some of the DC stuff, like The Killing Joke. I've got the hardback copy of that from years back, and that was an incredible read and everything. But then I think that's just accepted. Oh yeah. I mean, but then it's not a kid's thing.
I think again, I watched the movie.
An interesting point was made with Star Wars, and I think Star Wars is a good example. Star Wars had so many different writers writing for it, and I think when it came to LucasArts, they could just look at all the stuff that was out there in the Star Wars universe, and the good stuff which did well, which was good written, they went, that's part of the universe. The stuff that was pish, they went, that's not part of the universe. Where I think DC and Marvel have struggled, where anything that's written, they were trying to fit into the universe rather than just say, nah, we don't like that, so it doesn't count. You know, DC and Marvel was almost trapping themselves into a box, and then was having to relaunch itself every time to explain some of the absurd storylines, which you shouldn't have bothered with. Star Wars always had that advantage.
But also with DC and Marvel and Star Wars and Transformers UK, they never grew up. So you never got. So when you look at 2000 AD and the British comics, they started off quite bloodthirsty, and your stuff you never saw it in Transformers, you never saw it in any DC or Marvel. When you're growing up, you'd look at this stuff like people's heads getting caved in.
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing a girl's private parts. I was like, oh my god, that's really rude. And you'd see stuff like that, like, and as a 14-year-old, you'd be like, oh, that's amazing.
You mean in the comic book, right? Just to be clear.
Yeah.
I remember 14.
I remember once,
but you had giant spiders.
Two children.
I remember there was a 2000 AD story where giant
you never got that with American stuff, did you? You never got that gritty, disgusting horribleness. And British comics were like, we'll show you that and let you have it. And I always remember my dad was really strict. Like, my parents were Catholic and they used to say certain things, but my dad always used to say, like, if it's music and they swear, I'm cool with that. Like, I wasn't allowed to swear, I'd get really told off. But like, he used to let me listen to Guns N' Roses, Rage Against the Machine, Slipknot, whatever it was. Swear, he's like, it's music and it's an art, so you can listen to it. He used to say comics were an art as well.
No, Nickelback makes him swear.
Never Nickelback, never ever Nickelback.
Paul loves a bit of Sticklebrick.
I freaking love Stickle Bricks.
But it was just nice seeing that edge, and you didn't get to see that much as a 13 or 14-year-old, did you?
See, to me, 2000 AD was amazing because I was a bit young, but I had older family members reading that, and some of the stories with Judge Anderson, Judge Dredd were just amazing. And then you had the sort of like in the 2000 AD universe, like the Clone Soldier guy, and you had some those stories. Yeah, well, they were just brutal stories.
Who was the? It was a Terminator and Predator comic. I remember watching.
There's been loads of crossover.
I said someone day, and I get the Terminator. I said, "Can I get this comic book?" And Mum thought it was something else, right? And it was Terminator versus Predator. I read this thing and I was like, it scared the shit out of me.
Man wants cheese
again. All I had was Transformers, and I got this Terminator thing when people were dying, going, "Oh my god!" My mum saw it one day. I went, "You never get this again." I went, "Oh."
I'll tell you what I did read, comic book wise, the Aliens comics. I really got into the film Aliens in kind of like the early 90s, mid 90s, and I just loved it. I bought loads of the comic books, and that stuff wasn't written for kids. I mean, that was pretty gory and
but do you
really
think that's a good
themes.
thing, though? I mean, I think when you look at a lot of comics now, they're definitely not written for kids at all. And I think sometimes they kind of lose the spirit in a way. I think that was the trouble with the Transformers when it launched.
The
it wasn't written for
kids don't read like what I'd call a proper old style.
Do they read IDW?
They just read.
Do kids read IDW?
No, of course not. But they read.
But
like,
IDW
all kids' magazines
go.
are big glossy photos with like ridiculous, stupid panels that just say, "Oh, look at this awesome thing." And it's
IDW won't go where 2000 AD went. They won't push themselves to do that.
No,
so because they can't, because they're American and they're based in San Diego, they cannot, for God's sake, cut off the kids. And that's what restricts them, I think, sometimes.
But how many people actually buy IDW Transformers comics?
I was going to say, well, where do you buy it from? Do you ever go to a comic book store?
I get the Forbidden Planet. I just subscribe and just have it ordered.
You can go. I remember.
I
used to love going to a comic book store and then looking at all the comic like that were available and like seeing what was there, and like you could have a little browse, almost like in Big Bang. I think there was one in Reading. I swear there's one in Reading I used to go to, like when I was a late teenager. I used to go to a comic book store and I used to actually have a little peruse and you used to get something that you wanted and then take it away. And
for comic book store, I'm hearing adult stuff. Just have a little peruse.
I swear there was I swear it was Reading.
This is what Paul was talking about.
What's this? Star Wars.
That's why he drove to Nottingham. He goes,
I'm looking for a Transformers comic. What's it called? Escort.
We don't have a new version of that Yellow Pages ad.
With IDW readers' wives.
You've got a Darth Vader. What? I'll be right there.
Right, let's wrap it up. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for watching tonight. It's been a great show. Really enjoyed it tonight. Sorry, I was a bit flustered after my thing.
I hate it normally.
I love it every night. I love it. But it was just a bit. I was a bit stretched today, and this is the perfect tonic to the week to come home and see you guys, and I'll see my family as well at some point. But you guys are the most important bit. So it's been brilliant. Right, Alexis, what's the Instagram?
Transformers the show.
Awesome. And the Twitter, I'm guessing, is TF Show UK.
Yes, it is.
You ask every week, and it's
if you can't find us on Instagram,
that week.
You go on Twitter. I post things on there as well, so you click on the link, go to Instagram, you can follow us that way.
But you never like anything on Twitter, you prick.
Shut up.
Shut
up. Please go to Facebook if you haven't already. Just one place I could ask you to go is TF UK or Transformers the Show on Facebook.
Come join
and
us.
Join our face group. Let us see your face on the face group. It's the face group. Right, cool. Au revoir. Good night.